It's the best time of the year, folks. It's college football season, and the Lord's football team has been getting things underway out at McBride leading up to their 2016 season. And joining us in his fifth year at the helm is head coach Chris Monfiletto. Coach, thanks for taking time out of your day to come and speak with us. Obviously, it's an exciting time of year, the 7.5-month dead break, which is just, I saw Coach Cooper and said, I used to cry when it was end of football season, but we're back. And here we are for 2016. How excited are you for just the year ahead? And obviously, from last year to this year, I think we're going to hopefully see some pretty good improvements in the win column.
I hope so. I mean, we're very excited. We have a good group of seniors for the first time in a couple of years. We have a big group of seniors, and combined with the older juniors that we have, most of those guys have played now for 2 or 3 years, and we're excited about this year.
Quickly, I want to look back at last year just for a moment. I saw a lot of games. We were in there fourth quarter in a lot of situations that maybe we hadn't been there before, and it didn't go in our favor, like Worcester or Ohio Wesleyan. Is that a fair assessment from what you saw on the tape and from out on the practice field? And give us your thoughts on how last year went.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that those pressure situations are things that we focused on throughout the course of this preseason camp. I mean, there were 4 games that we lost by less than 7 points, and they all could have gone one way or another. Unfortunately, they didn't go in our favor, but those are opportunities to learn and develop. And those pressure situations this year, hopefully, with the preparation that we've done in this preseason, we can have a more favorable outcome.
Speaking of this preseason, what's kind of been the motto for the last 10 days or so that the guys have been in town, and what have you stressed as the most important thing for us to be ready when Sewanee comes to town?
Well, we just have to create an environment in practice where anything that's not your best effort is not going to be
suitable.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, that's not on us. We're going to try to put them in the right direction. We'll script the plays and stuff like that, but the environment that the kids create, that's on them. And, fortunately with the seniors and the juniors, they've created that environment that's been pretty conducive to us having not one good practice, but 2 and 3 that we've been able to string together kind of as we go through camp and we head into the scrimmage in 2 days.
Speaking of pieces, obviously Brian Hunk is back. He had the 5th highest receiving total last year, and I know he didn't have the best junior campaign, but Jabri's back, and we saw him a couple of years ago put up some really good numbers. And Ian Bell, a couple of several offensive linemen, Casey Cook, Josh Walmer, pieces are there. What's going to be in your mind the best formula for our success on the offensive end?
We have to stay balanced. I mean, we have to be able to stay balanced. We have to be able to run the ball and be able to throw the ball when we need to move the ball down the field. And we have to be successful at those things. When we take shots, we have to complete those shots. So, yeah, those pieces coming back are really important. But what you have, and all the guys that you mentioned are guys that have played for 2 or 3 years, and they've been in those situations before, and they've experienced some success, and they've experienced some things that they can learn from. So, with that experience coming back, and with Brian's leadership, and Ian Bell plays every single position for us,
right.
He lines up at quarterback. He's in the backfield at times at tailback. He plays receiver. He punts. He returns punts. We could have him return kicks if we wanted to get him on the field again. But he does everything for us. And Jabri coming back after a year where he was kind of trying to figure out how to rehab from that major injury that he had 2 years ago. He's been great in the preseason. And we're really excited about all of those guys.
Defensively, I think last year when we were driving down to Sewanee, that transition from we had so many freshmen having to advance to that second year last year. You mentioned all these juniors. I think our defense maybe on paper might produce more than our offense, if you know what I'm saying. What do you think on the defensive end? Obviously, a lot of guys, front line, linebacker, secondary, are back. And, as any good defensive coach would say, it's repetition, what you've seen. And obviously those guys the last couple seasons have seen a lot of action.
Yeah, they have. And they've, we've been better giving up big plays from 2 seasons ago to last season, and we expect that to improve this season. And the big thing that comes with age and with playing together and everything like that is communication. So those guys have become much better at communicating with each other about being on the same page. And if you're on the same page, and even if it's wrong, but if everybody's on the same page, then you have a chance. And that's kind of what we have with that experience coming back, is just a lot of guys that have played with each other before.
Like I said at the top, your 5th year, what's it going to take for us to be successful? And, we had all those games last year that, could have gone our way. How do we get those in our favor in your mind?
For us to be successful this year, we have to put two practices together that are really successful during the course of the week, and we have to let that translate into the games. We can't just have good practices and expect the result on Saturday to be favorable. The things that we learn in those practices have to translate into football games. And so, those pressure situations that we try to create in practice, when they come time in the game, we can't be anxious, we can't be nervous about those situations. We have to rely on our preparation to be able to be successful. And I think that we've done a decent job in that in the preseason, but you never know until you get into a football game. So the scrimmage in a couple of days is going to tell us a lot about where we are.